My lecture set out to draw some guidelines for a conceptual model of the figure, as I believe that the figure is an important and a unique notion standing for qualities which are important to highlight and underline. My task for today is to merge two distinct traditions of discussion. On the one hand, the plastic understanding of the figure, as it has been rising in the thought of Jean-François Lyotard and Gilles Deleuze in the last decades of the 20th century. And on the other hand lies the philological tradition of the understanding of the figure, mainly as it was presented in Erich Auerbach's essay of 1938 titled Figur. The former plastic aspect of the figure is rather scattered and unsystematic in comparison with the philological one, and there is no one comprehensive study referring to the genealogy of the figure as a plastic term. Therefore, my first task for today will be to sum up what can be generally determined regarding the figure as an atom of the plastic field. I will then proceed to two shorter sections. On the second section, I present the characters of the philological figure, and in the third, I suggest a possible synthesis of the two phases of the figure, the plastical and the philological. Let me state in opening the tools with which I am working in order to synthesize the two traditions of the discussion regarding the figure. My reading stems out of a metaphysical position which can be considered as a realist one, anchored by the works of Aristotle, Descartes, and Bergson. It is my endeavor to achieve a realist conception of art, a conception of art which will not be based upon the understanding of the work of art neither as an event nor as a phenomenon, but rather as a race. I will not have the space today to elaborate on the manner in which I consider Aristotle, Descartes, and Bergson as forming a continuous line of thought, but I will have the occasion today to refer to each one of them in passing. We begin then with the initial question: what is a figure? I suggest that plastically speaking, when we use the term figure, I'm a very bad painter, as you can see, we in fact refer to a situation in which exists a synchronous delineation of two surfaces at least, one containing, surrounding, enveloping, or carrying the other, as in the following scheme. A figural situation denotes a gesture of framing, cutting out, a distinction of an outline of a surface or a platform, a form within a form around a form. Therefore, the figural dynamics contains a bilateral movement from a form to a platform and back from the platform to the form. In what we can call the figural movement or the figural process, a matching between a type and a prototype takes place. In this process, both parties, both contoured forms, can be considered as each other's archae or beginnings. This figural situation can be found to hold affinity with Pliny the Elder's known fable regarding the invention of painting, but which actually regarded the origin of molded figures. In this fable, a young Corinthian amorous girl drew on a wall the outlines of the silhouette of her departing lover. We have several examples of this. After which her father had molded the lover's figure in clay. The figural movement is a regressive, retrograde motion of serial delineation. What I consider as the figural prototype is not the young soldier himself living, but rather the contour of his silhouette drawn on the wall. And the issuing figural series occurs when an affinity is formed between at least two delineated surfaces, for example, between the wall-painted silhouette and the molded figure, as in Pliny's The Elder's fable, original fable. Last example of Pliny. This iteration itself, when distinguished as such, creates the figural situation. We can use Aristotelian terminology in order to characterize the figural dynamics. Using Aristotelian categories, we can say that the figural dynamics produces a plastic primary definition, or ousia, of a moving body by delineating its outline at a given moment and isolating it from its surroundings. In that doing, the figural situation denotes the topos, or the place of a thing. In his Physics, Aristotle defined the topos as the inner surface of a thing which contains another moving thing. The figure occurred then at the borderline between a moving thing and another thing through which the former passes. Continuing to work with Pliny's Legenda, it becomes clear that the figure results from the adherence to a concrete fragment of reality, as the delineated silhouette registers the moving body of one particular soldier at one particular moment. Otherwise put, the figural has always some connection, even if minimal, with the figurative, and hence the realist trait of the figure. This differentiation between the figurative and the figure rises up in Deleuze's essay on Francis Bacon of 1981. For Deleuze, the figurative is literal representation, inasmuch as the figure happens when we depart from the literal and move toward formal reality, which is for Deleuze also the reality of painting. Deleuze finds that is what happens in Francis Bacon's paintings, where the figure erupts from the carrying surface, la plaque. But also earlier in El Greco's paintings, Deleuze finds a situation in which figural plasticism overcomes the figurative. If Deleuze identified the figural with the painterly, I believe that a clarification of this painterly character is due. In the figural basic situation, the distinction, or in Deleuze terms, isolation of the figured slice, creates always a spatial situation of depth, in which exists a differentiation between a front and a back, a stage and a backstage. Therefore, a figural situation dwells upon the borderline between 2 and 3-dimensional elevations, and within the framework of figural dynamics, the formalist Greenbergian separation between the 2-dimensional medium of painting and the 3-dimensional medium of sculpture cannot be maintained. I suggest that the figure is a mode by which we capture extended reality, or physis itself. Therefore, rather than strictly to painting, I prefer to align the figure with mediums which are considered as paradimensional, as printing and relief. Printing and relief. But of course, also photography and installation art would be mediums considered as inherently figural,